Hey everybody, welcome to Loft Session, episode 5, Cinco.
Rocco.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. I got my green shoes on.
Those are OD green, olive drab, military, if you will. I
You got your green tats.
I have my green tattoos I'm wearing today.
So everybody, I'm sick. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to be coughing a little bit. I'm going to try to maybe edit that out.
He's going to cough in that direction. I'm going to look in this direction.
And one of the things, hey, send us some more questions. We're getting some good comments and questions via email. And we'll post that email link. And we're looking forward to hearing from you. Some people who gave us some great feedback. They said, hey, get a little more light on there. Get the video a little tighter crop. So I'm sitting really close to Micah.
Zoom in on these handsome faces.
I'm cozied up to Micah this morning. A little close for my comfort.
They want to cut out. They want to cut out the tights. That's okay. I get it.
You got your man tights on.
Yes, I do. Brave pants.
So Micah, what are we talking about today?
So, well, we were going to talk about one thing.
No, what are we talking
but
about
it's
today?
connected.
Yeah.
Energy management or energy. So,
Yes.
and I don't mean that in a very vague hippie way. Well, I'll explain that.
Yeah.
Like someone going, oh, there's bad energy, man. Oh, man. I don't mean it in that vague of a way. I mean in a very acute, real way.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine and I were talking, this was months ago. So James, if you're watching, shout out to you, James. And he just articulated in a way that made it much more concrete. When you wake in the morning, you have a certain amount of energy you have to output that day, period.
I have low energy today.
And it's finite.
It's fine.
It's very finite. So it's not this thing we wake up and go, I have energy. You still have a gas meter of energy that's going to last so long. So then the question is, where do you allot that energy to? So if you have a pie chart, right?
Right.
And you have your pie chart of energy and you go, okay, I work at the gym from 4:30 to 11. This first whole half of my day, that's going to deserve a huge chunk of my energy.
Right.
Then I'm going to have a little bit to myself. I'm going to go work out real quick at the gym and eat and then rest. So I personally get about that much energy.
Right.
My daughter comes home from school, then I know I got to go back to the gym at this time. I have a certain amount of energy, like calorically, to move and put out good positive energy and motivation. But then also before I hit burnout. So if in that time someone goes, hey, Micah, can you meet me for lunch? I need to talk to you about some really deep shit.
Right.
I have to sometimes go, no, I can't. I can't today. Now, in the past, I wouldn't do that. In the past, I would just go, and then hit a fucking wall.
And there's things that give you energy, and there's things that take energy.
Absolutely.
And this is funny. So I didn't plan this. And look, I think I have this right here. I really didn't plan this. Look at this.
There you go.
So plug in this. This is the thing I'm into, Design Your Life. There's a bunch of people that I had a small group with that we spent some time on that. And one of the things that it talks about that I really believe in is this idea of understanding what feeds your energy.
Oh,
Where do you
absolutely.
get energy from? And what takes energy?
Of what the energy you're pouring out into something will be a
Yes.
short-term or long-term return.
Yes.
So a good example for me is boot camp.
Yes.
I teach boot camp in 6 weeks at a time.
Right.
It's a lot of energy to wake up at 3 a.m. It's a
Yes.
lot of energy to think and talk about these people and pour myself out.
And you're in the drill instructor mode, and you'll
Right.
go hoarse. I've heard you before.
Yeah,
You,
I lose
your
my voice usually once a week.
You're not kind of passively sitting back. You are putting a lot of energy into that class,
No,
and they're feeding off of
It's
that.
a lot of time. So
Yes.
little do they know that I think about them all the time and
Yeah.
who's got a hurt shoulder and who I know is going through some other stuff and how do I need to motivate this person in a different way and how to hold all these people accountable and make phone calls and text messages. And my point is this. I do it because I know that in 6 weeks we're going to make a change. In 6 weeks when we graduate, it's my payoff.
Right.
When I see someone click over and do a push-up and they look at me and I go, I don't even have to say a fucking word, right?
Yeah.
It's that point and they look at me and I'm like, yes.
Right.
When those things happen, I go, fuck yeah, like that's my return, right?
Right.
Well, and this goes into a whole, I believe this goes into a huge thing of then self-value and self-awareness. So here's for me.
Yes.
My big shift was I value myself and my energy. I never felt that way before in the past. It was, I'm just giving.
Yes.
So I would hide behind, I'm a giving person. I would hide behind, this is who I am. I'm a coach. I'm a motivator. This is what I do at the detriment to myself.
Right. And I was operating out of, I just am tough and I can just work through things. I'm stoic.
Right.
I can get things done.
And there are things
And at the end of the day, though, what I didn't notice was, oh, yeah, you're a stoic asshole. That's one of the things that I just didn't notice.
Not the good stoic, but
that I could get through things really tough, but I left a sea of dead bodies behind me.
Right. Little wrecking ball.
Just, I'm getting things done. I'm hitting my numbers for my business. I'm doing all this hard work. But at the end of the
but
day,
you're stiff arming people on the way there a little
and
bit.
so you said something that was key was awareness.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I came into this area was first a lot of people speaking into my life. You are going too hard. You're running too hard all the time. And then through a bunch of life changes, I started going to yoga. And through that, I learned about meditation.
Right.
And being quiet 15 minutes a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year brought a new sense of how busy my mind was, how fatigued I was at kind of a soul level that I had never known because I kept that all pushed away. And so being quiet brought awareness, and awareness brought an openness to maybe I could do things differently. That, now when I am going to go work on something that's very, very hard for me, I'll be kind to myself and say, you're going down to 3/4 tank of a gas, go for a walk, go for a motorcycle ride, go get a massage, go be with somebody that you enjoy being with. Because if you're down in the fumes all the time, you're going to go back to being that stoic asshole.
Hurtful.
What are some areas that you find where in the last 60, 90 days, you have done both a good job and a bad job managing energy?
So the biggest thing I would say is learning what gives me life. What's life-giving, right? So for me, it's going out and having solitude and paddleboarding. Going on my daily workouts, I have to have that. Even if I begrudgingly make myself go, I know I need it preemptively. So that way I'm not operating on the backside of my gas tank. That way I'm not going, oh, fuck, I'm exhausted. I feel like a lazy turd because I didn't go to the gym. My momentum is slowed. I know chemically, even not a physical thing, I know chemically for my DNA, I need to go work out.
Yes.
It's good for my hormones. So, and I just so happen to, when I get there, start clearing my mind and processing. So that is huge for me, is preemptively doing these physical activities. That's just for me. Paddleboarding is the one thing that bridges both those things where it's peaceful, therapeutic, it's life-giving. I'm on the water, the sand on my toes yesterday, the sun on my skin, the cold water just almost numbing up. Like there's something so beautiful about that is life-giving to me that, especially in the summer, I will always have my board on my truck, all of my gear in the back, and I just go. If there's 3 hours, I'm going. And so that's huge. 2, learning who to cut out of my life and energies to cut out of my life. If someone's constantly negative, if someone's a Debbie Downer, I can't have that in my life. And if it is, it's very superficial. Hey, how's it going? Knuckles. You get knuckles. You're not getting a hug. Like there's certain energies I've learned to block out of my life. They don't belong there. They get a limited amount of space. They don't get to come into my living room and sit and hang out and sleep and hang. They can knock on my door like they're trying to sell something to me and just sit there. But I'm not going to let it into my home. And so that's been huge. I think the biggest thing for me, my energy-wise now, and you keyed in on this, is learning for me when to slow down. So I had the migraine on Wednesday. Here's me. I finally get out of bed at like 1:30, 2 o'clock. I finally start feeling better. You know, my first thought is, you're a lazy asshole, you need to go work. I had to stop myself from going out and smashing a workout because I felt the momentum drop on my body. I felt the momentum drop in my physical self. And my first reaction was to beat myself up to get to the gym and have a gnarly workout. So the question for you is, where have you learned, let's say in the last year, because this last year's been big for you, where have you learned the biggest struggle is for your own energy management, where you've grown the most and where you need to grow the most?
So the number one thing I think from this last year that surprised me was that I left Chico for a lot of good reasons and lived in downtown San Francisco and was having a great life there. And slowly over time, very gradually, I figured out that I really missed, more than my friendships here, I missed my community. That I had, decades of relationships that all kind of intertwined, and that I had kind of reached a place when I was like, I'm tired of Chico, I want something new. But in trading all of that, I found myself very depleted. And so then I needed to kind of recognize that, and then I came back to Chico and slowly re-engaged. And so I identified that I have a lifestyle that is built upon community, relationships that are kind of all intertwined. It's hard to explain, but that was the most important thing in my life.
That was that life-giving thing?
And that I had somehow discounted that and didn't understand how important that was, and then walked away from that, and then am still in the process of rebuilding that now. So that was number one. Number two was doing things that I am good at, but that I'm not great at. And so that in my work especially, there's things that I can take on, and I'll do an adequate job at doing those. But I am not excellent at those. And so what I find over time is I can check the box, I can get it done, it's satisfactorily, but it's just energy out, constant energy out, and there's no energy in.
Because you're grinding away.
Well, I'm just, doing things that seem, again, that I'm capable at, but I'm not excellent at. And when I do things I'm excellent at, I'm always amazed, and I'm like, I love doing that.
Right.
It brought a huge amount of value, and I'm excited to go do the next thing. Versus, okay, I've got 9 things to do. I'm a number 8. I'm going to kind of take a deep breath and kind of, grind out these last ones. And so choosing work and focusing on work that I'm excellent at, not just good at. And then number 2, recognizing how much community my relationships here in Chico meant to me, and coming back and investing heavily in those.
Just kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
I would say the number one thing I can recommend for everyone is to one, acknowledge, to literally sit there and say, I have this amount of energy in my day. With that energy, what am I going to do with it? What deserves that energy and time? If you just operate of a place of just, I'm awake and I'm just going to go, you're going to hit a wall, you're going to hit a wall, and you're going to repeat. And then you're living a life of frustration and depletion. I think if you wake up every day and you have value for yourself, which is something I kind of keyed in on, when you value your time and energy, when you value that you have a limited amount, then you can divvy up that time appropriately. It's like someone who has no respect for money.
Right.
You're going to spend it on stupid shit and then you're broke.
Right.
So if you value your time and energy and you go, no, I'm protecting this time. And that's another thing. Protect that which is important, which is your time and energy. It is important. You're important. Be strategic about where you're spending that time and energy. And if something comes in to threaten that, 2 things: either allow it to happen, acknowledge it, or block it out, because you have that right too. You have the right to say no, and that's an important, huge discipline as learning how to say no, not just yes to everything.
I'm going to put a link in to that Design Your Life book, and there's something about a couple exercises in there. They have some things where you actually fill in graphs, what gives you energy and what takes energy, and I think it's life-changing. The other thing is, I use the Headspace app. There's Calm. There's a lot of things you can just do online. I personally would recommend everybody, if you've not tried this, to do 10 to 15 minutes of quiet meditation a day and just see where that opens up space in your mind and you start getting in touch. It's not to have a quiet mind. It's to be aware of where your mind is today. So that's my things. Design your life, try some meditation, and treat your energy like you treat your gasoline and like your money. Don't run out beside the road, because it's finite.
Finite. It's only so much you got, guys. Protect it.
It's good. Hey, peace out.
Thank you guys for joining us for session 5. We appreciate you guys watching. Share the link if you could. If you like what we're doing, tell people about it. We really appreciate that.
Thanks, Alon.
Don't be a dick.